What is up? How y'all feel out there? What's up, y'all? Frank Red, right here, locked in the dungeon once again, and coming to you on a joyous night. You know why? The Golden State Warriors were victorious against the LA Clippers, 120 to 114, and the exact medicine that the Warriors needed to recover from Tuesday night's debacle against the Sacramento Kings. A game that they had in the bag, and Sacramento miraculously took that game from them. I want to shout out my guy, Carmichael Dave, who one of the big wigs up in Sac, friend of mine for over 20 years, somebody who literally got it out the mud. A lot of people create narratives about how they came up and they've risen to the top of their game. Carmichael Dave is actually a walking, breathing example of what can happen when you have a dream and you exhibit the work ethic and the leadership and the talent to get it done. I watch all his videos, I listen to him, and I'm just so proud of the guy because this is not easy. And in some ways, building a sports talk show career or any career parallels what it feels like to be an NBA player. You might think it's different, but it's not that different. I got so many colleagues and friends in this business who literally came up from the bottom to rise to be excellent at what they do. A couple of days ago, my man John Dickerson at the mighty 95.7 sent out a tweet on X that said that was his last day. John Dickerson is a friend of mine, somebody who I've known for a long period of time. Excellent at what he does, tremendous. And I'm sure he's going to go on to greener pastures. And sometimes when you lose your job, it has nothing to do with your talent. It's more about the business. But they're losing a star. As good as John Dickerson is at breaking down NBA basketball, hosted that show on 95.7 for basically a decade. Let me tell you this right now, he's better at baseball. Mike Krukow is the smartest person that I have listened to about baseball. Every time I listen to Krukow, I learn something about baseball. Somebody who didn't play in the major leagues, just like Joe Reporter, who's worked in the industry. I haven't heard anybody who knows more about baseball than John Dickerson. And he's turned himself into a basketball guy. It's unbelievable how talented this dude is. So, JD, I salute you, brother. And I know that you're going to rise once again and continue to do what you have done for a decade plus, just shining. I'm feeling kind of melancholy for a lot of different reasons. First and foremost, like a lot of times I talk to people, I'm on various shows and everybody has an opinion that's valuable, but everybody doesn't have the same level of information that they're bringing to the conversation. And, when people are talking about basketball, sometimes they talk as if it's like fantasy baseball or football. Basketball is unique unto itself because there are only 5 people. It's only 15 on a team, 12 active. These relationships are emotional in ways I don't know if other sports can really speak to. I've said it before, I won't say his name, but the Warriors had a player within the past 5 to 7 years that he came here, put the uniform on, had some success, and was blown away by the level of excellence that the organization exhibited. I know firsthand about how the Warriors run their business. Anybody who's lucky enough to work in this business, to interact with the Warriors, yeah, they are a conglomerate and they can be as political as anybody. But everybody in that organization is a star in their role. The player got traded. He cried. He had not even been here that long. He cried, real tears. A millionaire, grown man. Because it's special. So when you talk about breaking up Draymond, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson, don't be flippant about that. These are not puzzle pieces. When you look at their salaries, look at the owner's value. Look at how much money the owners have made. Are you kidding me right now? These are real people that have done everything. They're just as important as anybody in an organization to watch this behemoth of a business rise to the point where it's worth $7 billion. 3 guys and a coach and a general manager and an owner. It all speaks to the psychology of sports. I love sports, man. Sports has given me everything. I love it. And I know some of you are like, Red, let's talk about the game. We'll get to it. The Warriors won 120-114. Rarely do you have an opportunity to really talk about the intersectionality of sports and life and the humanness that brings us all together. That's what's beautiful. And we're watching that, man. I'm enjoying watching this team. Like I have people, like I listen to people that say, prominent personalities, the Warriors are done, they're reeling. Excuse me? Are you watching the whole game? One of the best coaches I've ever seen in my life, that I've ever had any contact with, that I actually have a relationship with, is Coach Mo, the historic coach of McClymonds High School. The godfather, one of the godfathers of the OAL. The last Northern California coach to win a California state championship and go undefeated. It was Damian Lillard's senior year. Damian Lillard's senior year, McClymonds High School beat them like 2 or 3 times. Unbelievable high school basketball. And when I was a young coach, Coach Mo said, Frank, he goes, I know what y'all are doing. Y'all are playing some good basketball. That's what he told me. I was like, what? This is Coach Mo. He goes, you know what I look at? I go, what, Coach? He goes, I don't look at the final scores. I look at the quarters. It was like one of those light bulb moments for me. I look at the quarters. This is a guy who won a state championship, a legend. He goes, I know how competitive your team is. Your team is. I know how competitive some of the other teams are. And just to kind of be in that situation, and I bring that up because Steve Kerr is not perfect, but Steve Kerr is brilliant. Steve Kerr would have been successful in any endeavor that he would have chose to be a part of. And I'm going to tell you why. And I want you to check this out. And you can actually take this. By Steve Kerr coming out publicly and saying that he essentially cost the Warriors the loss against Sacramento on Tuesday night. You know what he did? He took the narrative away from all of the meaty writers out there who wanted to pounce. He just took it away. He said, yo, it was I didn't have a great game. It was essentially my fault. You know how smart that was? Do you understand the bridges that he was able to build with his team? Beyond the Hall of Famers. For him to publicly say, yo, Moses Moody deserved better. And I'm going to tell you the example that manifested from that. The Warriors came out tonight and played like their feet were on fire. They were hyped up against a really talented Clippers team. Oh, by the way, the narrative that James Harden can't play, stop it. Dude is still a top 50, I think he's a top 50, top 75 player. Easy. So the fact that this guy can't play basketball, stop. It is a complete lie. But Steve Kerr was responsible for the Warriors coming out tonight and playing well. And I don't know if they're going to beat the Clippers on Saturday. The Clippers are a really, really good team. But I give it up to Steve Kerr for doing that. And he knew what he was doing. He didn't want these writers or these sports talk show hosts to build a whole program around him screwing up. So he took the narrative away. He goes, I'm going to do it myself. And it worked. I wanted to acknowledge that. The psychology of sports is almost more interesting than what takes place on the various courts and playing fields. I'm giving you one more example of the sports of psychology. And then we'll start talking. So hang in there. I appreciate everybody. I coached at 4 different high schools. One high school I coached at, the brilliant school, academically. Brilliant. Unbelievable. School has everything. Kids are well taken care of, affluent. Hold on. The school had been in existence for 10 years. 10 years. Had never gone to the playoffs. I don't know if they've ever had a winning record. The first year I coached at the school, we were 3-24, right? They told me, they said that the previous coach used to coach by sitting in a chair. I was like, what? All right. The second year, we didn't win a league game, right? We did not win a league game our first year. We were 3-24. We were shut out in 2 quarters, did not score a basket. You know how embarrassing that is? You know how humiliating that is not to score in a whole quarter? Twice? We did that. The young men worked their tails off. We came back the second year. We had not won a league game. It was the last game of the year. We played a team that were almost as bad as we were, although we thought we were better. They had won 1 league game. They beat us. The last game of the year, right? Psychology of sports. This is what I told the guys. I said, fellas, guess what? There's only 2 teams in our league that's going to win their last game. The team that wins the championship and us. We're going to start a winning streak. It's like, I said, they could, coach, you're going to start a, yes, we're going to start a winning streak and win this game. We won the game in overtime, right? The third year, we made it to the NorCal playoffs. One of the most enjoyable experiences that I've had in sports. Now, here's the deal. It was a psychology. I don't know what would have happened had we lost that game, but we won that game. It's because the kids believed and they were locked in. It's no different than Steve Kerr coming out and saying, listen, this is on me. Don't get on the players. This is on me. Moses deserved better. Same thing. So for those out there who have coached, you can probably relate. For those who haven't coached, unlift the veneer and look at the little things that matter. Sports is awesome. All right. Let's try to get some people in here, man. And I got to put my glasses on because I can't see otherwise. The lovely Vicky says, hi, Frank. We had some beautiful basketball tonight. And some not so much. Moody did okay, but I was expecting a little more. Glad you're having a show tonight. You always put things in perspective. Wow, okay. Thank you. I appreciate you. My man Spencer, excuse me, also says, I just finished a great Peloton workout. I always like your insight, but I'm a Kings fan. I'm a Kings fan too. You kidding me? Sacramento made me. He's doing post-game Warriors on KNBR. Who is? John Dickerson? Tell me who. SG says, who do you think will be the X factor for the San Francisco 49ers against the Eagles? I think it's SG. I think it's a quarterback matchup. I think the quarterback who plays the best, their team is going to win. Because these two teams are so buttoned up. They make mistakes, but we're surprised when they do. I think it's going to come down to how successful Brock Purdy is against Philly's rush, and how many ad-lib plays he can make. And can the 49ers bother Jalen Hurts enough to the point where the miraculous behavior that he's been able to exhibit doesn't happen as much on Sunday? What a great game, man. I'm looking forward to it. Aaron says, major shakeup at KNBR2. Educate me. Educate me. I don't know about it. Brian Iglesias, my man Frank, hope you're doing well. Why are you feeling melancholy? This was by far the best game I have seen. JK played, shot the ball well, passed, rebounded well, and was patient all night. Well, I'm melancholy. I was, not now. But again, because of the psychology of sports that hopefully you got. This game is emotional, man. And I was hoping that you were going to come and step in the dungeon and give Jonathan Kuminga the props that he deserves, and also kind of speak to some of the things that I was saying. Yo, man, this dude, if he can cut down on the mistakes, he has the opportunity to be a top 50 player in the NBA, and he's getting better. And this idea, Brian, come on, the idea that Jonathan Kuminga is not a good defender, he's a very good defender. He just makes bad mistakes, but he's making less mistakes. His jumper, his opportunity jump shots, is starting to come. Imagine teams playing tight on him from the perimeter. With his level of bounce, he's gonna start dunking on people. So he's a factor, man. You know, and Brian, you understand basketball. There were probably 2 or 3 instances where we could all hear Jonathan Kuminga thinking when he was on the court. And he went through a series of outcomes and he made the right one. Something as simple as just passing the ball to a teammate who has a better opportunity. He played very, very well. Spencer says, SG Kittle will destroy those linebackers. Yeah, if he can get open. Samuel says, what up, OG? Hope you've been well. Why hasn't Trace Jackson Davis been getting minutes? We need rim protection, and he's a great backup for Looney. 2 things. Sarich has played extremely well, all right? And Sarich is actually playing better than Looney right now on a consistent basis. They don't want to lose Looney, right? And if Sarich can continue to make 3-pointers at a rate above 35%, then the Warriors are a difficult cover. But I think Jackson Davis will get his opportunity. Here's the problem with Jackson Davis, though, and I watch very closely. He's dropping a lot of passes. You know, a lot of tips he's dropping. And that's not who he is. Watching him for 4 years at Indiana, this dude has good hands, and he has to finish some of those passes. I can remember at least 2 passes that he received from Stephen Curry that he botched. So when you're a person like he is, rookie, your margin for error is really, really small. And those coaches are recording everything, and they're watching film. So he has to play better. That's the bottom line. Is he good enough? Absolutely. But he can't expect the coach to give him minutes He has to go out what Brandon Podzinski is doing and what Moses Moody and what Kuminga are doing, and that's putting a lot of pressure on Kerr to put them on the floor because they're shining when they have their opportunities. He has to do that, but he's fine. He's a keeper. He's a keeper. Samuel also says, I've been seeing better development from Moody. Yes, instead of Kuminga. Should Moody be playing more? He looked great. He's playing more. And the reason why I like Moses Moody is because his success is not dependent upon him shooting well. He's so much more than just a shooter. And I would even call him a great shooter. He's a good shooter, but he's just a dog, man. I mean, you look at him and you can tell that he played at Arkansas because all of the skills that you look for in a basketball player, he has. He knows how to cut. He knows how to defend. He knows how to rebound. He can pass a little bit. He's a good all-around player. And Jonathan Kuminga is coming like a locomotive coming down the track, man. He's coming and he's developing. And I give him the credit for listening to his coaches or his manager or whomever. I'm a fundamentalist. That's how I learned how to play, and that's how I coach. So I don't like simple, mistakes that you should not be making. That has to stop. That has to decrease. But there's so many other aspects of Jonathan Kuminga's game that you can look at and see significant growth. So very, very impressed by him. I'm very happy with him. Aussie Rules, what's up? Aussie Rules said, what's up, Frank? What's up, brother? Thank you. Vicky says, that's why I love watching the Warriors. They love playing the game. What they've done as a team might never be done again. I agree. I'm going to enjoy this to the end. Then the next generation will take over. Yeah, and there'll be some bumps in the road. And that's okay too. Great bench play again. But where's TDJ? He'll get his time, probably on Saturday. Frank, did you play college ball? Yes. Where? What year? Who were some of the notable players you played against? Okay. I'm gonna let you do your own research, okay? But yeah, I played college football and basketball at Fordham University in New York. University that produced Denzel Washington, a lot of notable broadcasters that you might know of. Michael Kay, the voice of the New York Yankees. Sparrow Dedes, a voice in the NBA and in the NFL. Mike Breen went to Fordham. Michael Kay, I said. So many prominent broadcasters have gone to Fordham. And yeah, many of them were there. Well, not many of them, but some of them were there when I was there. Some of the players I played against during my career, Michael Jordan, Mully. I went to, like I said, I go back to my high school career. I played at a very prominent high school, one of the best in New York. We were among the best high schools when I was there. New York's a big state, so we were pretty good. Got a lot of close relationships. I'm not going to name drop because it kind of comes off wrong, but I was a good player. I was a good player, not a great player, but I was physical. I was a tough player. And from a mental standpoint, I was coached very well. So I give all the credit to my coaches because of my basketball IQ and my physical toughness, I was able to compete on a much higher level than probably my skill development at that particular time. But I became a pretty good player. I mean, I won a Pro-Am championship in the Bay Area, starter. Played with Dell Demps. I mean, I played with some great players, And I'm a student of the game more than anything. I'm a student of the game. I love basketball. I love sports in general, and I actually played football at Fordham as well. Samuel, I like Saris. I think Saris would fit better at the 4. He's a stretch guy, so that shows he doesn't like rebounding. I disagree with you. I didn't think that Saris was as tough as he is. The dude is tough. Can he jump? No, he can't jump. But he gets more rebounds than for somebody who can't jump. He's also a very smart defender. He boxes out. And I actually think he's most effective at the 5. I do. Because, again, he's getting those driveway jump shots because these teams have to hedge on Steph and Clay and some of these other players that more times than not, Sarge is getting a clean look at the basket. And the Warriors have benefited from that, and he's benefited from that. The only thing about Sarge that disappoints me is the guy's making the minimum. He should be making at least $5 million a year. At least. We need that defensive anchor at the 5 to play small ball efficiency. That's Draymond, man. That's Draymond. And you only really need it in the 4th quarter. You don't need that the whole game. You don't. When the Warriors are playing their best basketball, they're shooting very well. So they're going to be up unless they have those debacles like they had on Tuesday night in Sacramento. The Warriors are going to be beating most teams because offensively, they're going to score baskets in the normal vein. That 2 or 3 week stretch that they had, we didn't know who they were. But if they're playing well offensively and scoring, they're going to put a lot of pressure on the opposition to play differently. And in the fourth quarter, the last 5-6 minutes of the game, they have enough defenders, I think, to get them to the finish line. Also, Kerr's done a really good job going to the zone when it's appropriate. It's not always effective, but it gives the opposition a different look that they have to deal with. And I'm not concerned about the Warriors defense at all. I'm not. Ryan Glacier says, JK showed out tonight. Yeah, great performance. There's no reason why he can't be this efficient moving forward. I want to see him put up consistent good games. That's the next thing, JK, in my opinion. All right. You're absolutely right. You can have that expectation, but again, go back to where he started. Not where he was drafted. Go back to where he was started. And I actually want your answer, Brian. If you look at where Jonathan Kuminga started as a basketball player, coming into the NBA to where he is now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give him? I'm gonna write a number down now. I'm gonna write 2 numbers, and I want you to write down a number, and we'll see where we are. Because I think that's a very fair and reasonable way to assess where he is. And I'll give you another example. If you listen to me over a period of time, you know how much I love Jaime Jaquez, who was drafted by the Miami Heat. Love him. He was drafted, 16th overall? I don't care where he was drafted. And neither did Pat Riley. That kid is a player. He's going to be in the NBA for 10 years. He's already started 2-3 games. Already. He looks like he's a 4-year guy. His basketball IQ is off the charts. Above average athleticism. Total team player. Has won a ton of games at UCLA. So it's not where you're drafted. That's my point. My point is it's not where you're drafted. It's where you are. Where do you start? When you are coaching teams and you're developing players, you don't look at where you think they should be. You look at where they are. Can they do these core things? Can they pass? Can they shoot? Can they dribble? Can they box out? Can they rebound? Do they play with intensity? Are they selfless? there's a lot to learn. Jonathan Kuminga didn't go to college. He went to multiple high schools. So, yo, man, I see an arc where he can be a top 50 player in this league. That's impressive. There's 30 teams in the NBA. If he can be top 50, that's a $100 million contract plus. So I don't expect Jonathan Kuminga to play as well as he did tonight on Saturday. I don't. You know, I think that'd be a very high bar. What I expect him to do is to play the game the right way and eliminate mistakes and play hard. He plays hard. But the JV high school type turnovers, mistakes, he needs to get those out of his game to get to that next level. Samuel says, Ed Bryan, agreed. Same with Moody. We need to allow these guys to make mistakes and learn. Both should have played max minutes versus King the other night. All right. My man, Immortal-ish 30, JK was within the flow of the game for the majority of it. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he's getting better, man. Part of the Warriors' success this year is their bench. And I don't want to be without Chris Paul too long, but I mean, the bench's play tonight was almost an homage to CP3. Because you can't look at Chris Paul's numbers and assess his value to the Warriors. This is a guy who's going to hold everybody accountable. And I'm sure he was like a proud big brother, papa, watching these young kids out there playing great basketball. Brandon Podzinski, you know what? I was wrong about him. And I can say that right now. When I evaluated his package is still a little shaky. But he compensates from a package that's not complete by having a real strong belief in himself. He's clearly a team guy. He's clearly tough, and he's smart. And when you put all of those variables together, he generally doesn't play to his weaknesses. He plays to his strengths. He's also making an impact on the defensive end. I didn't see that with the Chargers. He's probably taken this year anywhere from 4 to 8 charges. When you take a charge, you change the momentum and the flow of the game. So from an intellectual perspective, he's right where he needs to be. And there was a couple of times a night when he was kind of pushing the offense a little bit, and he didn't look good. But when he just lets the game come to him offensively, he can make shots. He can make open shots. And I love tough players. The guy's tough. I give it up to him. And he's been a very valuable player for the Warriors this year. And the success that they've had, he's played a major role in that process. So big him up. I was wrong. I'm happy I'm wrong. SG says the Cowboys versus the Seahawks football game was one of the exciting games I watched. Yeah, we'll get into that maybe a little later if we have some time. You know, I'm a Dak guy, and I mean, I admire Dak Prescott because a lot of the crap that he takes, he should not take. Samuel, OG, I love to go live with you and talk hoops. Let me know if we can set something up. Yo, dude, we can. I'll hit you up. Or either hit me up. You know, you follow me. Do you follow me on Twitter? You know, hit me up. SG, I'm going to give you another chance too, brother, down the road. But you got to be ready. Aussie Rules. Do you think Kuminga would be better today if he played 1 to 2 years in college? Absolutely. Yes. No doubt about it. I'm an advocate of college, man. 4 years, I'm not saying that. No, there's money on the table. But can you imagine if Jonathan Kuminga had gone to Kansas UCLA. You know, I'm a big Self guy because one of my closest friends, one of my teammates, is on the staff at Kansas. So, we don't talk specifically about what takes place there. I would never do that. But Self is a great guy. And, Self is a good guy. Coaches his guys really, really hard. And he roots for his players. He develops players. So there are some universities that if Jonathan Kuminga went to, if Jonathan Kuminga played for Rick Pitino, he would be a bona fide player right now because, again, colleges give you an opportunity to work on the fundamentals. And in the NBA, they expect you to step on the court and be ready to play. That's the difference. So that skill development is essential. Even a guy like Calipari, like I give him more credit. No, he hasn't won as much as he probably should. But no one can say that John Calipari does not develop players. He does develop players. I mean, think about what he does. He goes out, Rod Strickland. Imagine showing up to practice and you going against Rod Strickland every day in practice. If you're a guard, are you kidding me? Why do you think Kentucky guards come out and they crush the NBA? Shit. Shaden Sharp never played a game at Kentucky. But you see what he's doing in the league. Man, those guys go hard. Hard. So, yes, if Jonathan Kuminga went to college, he would be significantly, he would probably be where he is now, maybe at the tail end of his first year or maybe last year. I think he'd be that good. SG said, I predicted that the Dallas Cowboys would win over Seattle Seahawks on my NFL Week 13 picks. Yeah, but you lost a bet to me, and I haven't heard anything from you. So I don't know, everybody's chiming in saying, yo, what's up with you, dude? Brian, what do you mean, what are my numbers? I don't understand. How big am I? How much I weigh? My height? Is that what you mean? Help me out. Aussie Rule says, love Jaime Jaquez, too. Very high basketball IQ. Yeah, everybody loved him. I mean, the smart organizations love this guy. Now, could you have jumped out there and taken him as a top 5, top 7 pick? Probably not, because it's hard to, to rationalize those picks if they don't make it. But if you are a evaluator and you know basketball, Jaime Jaquez is going to make it. Pat Riley had him locked in. And I said it before, I don't have any inside dope, but I think he was a holdup. I think that Portland's general manager, I can't think of the guy's name now, but he wanted Jaquez. I believe he did. And Pat Riley was like, you're out of your mind. There's no way I'm trading this guy. He's not going to be a part of the package. You can have Tyler Hero, but you're not getting Jaime Jaquez. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, I get on a tangent sometimes. 7.5 to 8. Either 7.5 or an 8. Those are my numbers. What are your numbers? SG Frank, I'll go clean shaven for you, and I'll also get a nice. No, stop it, dude. I'm not your father. Stop it. I'm not telling you how to dress or how to look. You do what you want to do. This is America, right? We don't do that. Vicky, the Michigan State basketball coach, has been great too. Draymond still talks to him. Of course. Tom Izzo? Tom Izzo is legend, father figure to so many, confidant. Tom Izzo is a role model to people that have never met him, like myself. He's a role model because, let me give you some inside dope on Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo was an assistant coach at Michigan State for 20 or 22 years before he became a head coach under Judd Heathcote, Magic Johnson's college coach. Can you imagine that level of loyalty? That's Tom Izzo. And literally, the second that Judd Heathcote retired, Michigan State didn't miss a beat. Just kept on winning because Izzo was that good. And as opposed to going somewhere else, he stayed there under Michigan State. That's love, man. I remember 15 years ago or somewhere around there, the first Steve Smith was the first player who went to Michigan State that I remember giving money back to the university. He gave like $3.5 million to that university. Draymond Green's giving a lot of money back to the university. Their guys give back millions. You know why? Because of the love. The Zach Randolphs of the world. I mean, so many. That's love. And a lot of it has to speak to the respect that they have for Tom Izzo. He's one of those guys. The guy I mentioned, Kansas, I mentioned UCLA. Michigan State develops players. I think, Kuminga would have really had to be mature to go there. But at the end of the day, I think he would have came out ready for the NBA. Vicky says, Michigan State basketball, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we said that. SG's critiquing himself. I love that. I look great without facial hair. Really? Who told you that? Your mom? Who? I'm joking, by the way, man. I'm pretty self-deprecating. I don't think I'm anything great to look at. So I got a voice. I got a face for radio. Oh, man. SG, pay your bet. Be a man. You owe Frank. I love it. I love it. So he was a 7.5 when he first came into the league. And is an 8 right now in your mind. No, you did not get that right. No. He is a 7.5 to 8 player now. When he came into the league, he was a 5. A 5. He played totally off athleticism when Kuminga came in the league. Hustle and athleticism. His footwork was not good. He didn't know what a mid-range really was. He couldn't really assess what the best opportunities were. He's turning into a 3-level scorer now. 3-point shot, he's shooting probably at minimum 35%, maybe even higher than that. He has a little drive game. He can get to the basket, and he can also post up a little bit. He's developing into a 3-level scorer. When you are in practice and you are working guys out, I could coach pros, by the way. I could train pros. I could. They work on 3 levels. Everything that you're seeing in Kuminga's game now, they work on every day in practice. Post up, mid-range, 1-2-step dribble, rise up, 1-2-step dribble, finish at the rim, catch and shoot threes. He's not really doing the side dribble threes yet. That's that next level. Not many guys can really do that effectively. But his footwork is significantly better. Moses Moody has good footwork. And it's only gotten better. He came into the league with pretty good footwork. It's gotten better. Developing better footwork is Brandon Podzinski's the next phase of his development. And, I didn't know if he could get to the level of a Dante DiVincenzo. But I'm watching him now. Maybe he can. You guys know I love Dante. He had 4 threes for the Knicks. Dante's game is so rock solid. What a good player. SG says, he won a championship with the Spurs in 2003. Smith was widely regarded as an excellent 3-point shooter and is one of 3 players to make 7. Okay. What does that have to do with my bet? Nothing. I look sexy without facial hair. Okay? You can keep that for yourself. I still want JK to be a glass cleaner on both ends. I think that's coming, Vicky. I do. I think it's coming. He watches the ball a little bit too much, but I think that he has good rebounding form. And I think he rebounds at a pretty high level. I do. Not as good as he can be, because he could be one of the top offensive rebounders in the NBA, in my opinion. But where he succeeds, he has abnormally long arms, and I think he's 6'9". I mean, he's a unique physical basketball player. You just don't see guys, with that type of length that can do what he can do. He can bring the ball up, he can finish, and he's with like the greatest core of veterans in the NBA today, in my opinion. So he has a lot of guys to hold him accountable, and they're all rooting for him. They're all rooting for him. So stock is up on Jonathan Kuminga. Brian, I'm waiting for your grade, brother. Where is it? Where's your grade? I have a conspiracy that Steve Kerr would take over Greg Pop's job and coach Wemby on the Spurs. I don't think so, but it might just be good business. I think Steve Kerr, when he leaves the Warriors, is going to go right back and be one of the highest paid analysts in basketball. Maybe TNT, something like that. They'll pay that guy 10, 15 million to show up twice a week on network TV, to talk basketball. Or he'll be president of some organization. I mean, coaching another player, can't see that happening. Nope. The job's too hard. Yes, Vicky, second chance points are so important. They are. And I thought the Warriors competed on the board tonight. I think that's part of why they were successful. Okay, Brian, got it. I misunderstood the question. I give him a 6.5 to 7. The reason he's not higher is because he's not consistent. If he wants to make that next jump, he needs to be more consistent. I agree with you. And I don't have a problem with your grading rubric. At least you got a 7. I would give him at least because 7 is average. I think he's slightly better than that, but if you are a hard grader, you're only going to help him get better, and you hold him to a high standard. So I dig it. I have no problem with that. 65, 7, he's still passing. He's not failing. So I'm okay with your grading process. I'm a little more lenient. I would give him 7.5 to probably 7.5. I don't think he's quite an 8 yet, but 7.5. But we're in the same universe, which is good. That's why I told you, that's why I like to hear you talk sports. I think you understand it. I don't know what your playing background is or your coaching background, because I think that might have some impact on how you gauge players, because you'd be more empathetic, or maybe not. It's hard to be good at basketball. It's not an easy game to become good at. It's hard. It's simple. The game is really simple, but it's hard to do the simple things well. The later you start, the more difficult it is. The 2023 Hawaii Bowl will be between San Jose State and Coastal Carolina. Okay. And this is the second game. That's a good bowl game. Coastal Carolina has a guy who I think might be the next Brock Purdy. I don't know if he's hurt right now. I saw Coastal Carolina play and he wasn't in there. The guy McCall, quarterback, McCall, talented dude that not a whole lot of people know about, but good, sharp arm, knows how to read defenses, tough. Very Brock Purdy-esque. Keep your eye on McCall, is his last name. Red, how the hell you know that? I watch everything, B. Andrew the GOAT, excuse me, brother. What is Kerr not playing? Well, why is Kerr not playing Jackson Davis? We talked about that, and I think he likes him, but he's a young guy, and I think Kerr feels comfortable with a 2-center rotation. Sarich is playing really well, and he's going to be loyal to Moody. Jackson Davis is going to get his time. He's going to get his time. Hang in there. Kerr should run for president of the USA. Wow. I see Kerr more as a Secretary of State, like Bolkin. Bolkin, who I think is, I know I'm mispronouncing his name, and I apologize. But he's doing a really good job, I think, as the Secretary of State. Bolkin, what is his name? Help me out. I know you guys follow this stuff just like I do. But yeah, I mean, if politics is something that Steve Kerr is interested in doing, being the president, why not? If that's what he wants to do. But I think that he could certainly contribute to the success of our country and the world. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory to think that Mark Cuban is setting some things up down the road by him selling the Mavs and leaving Shark Tank. There might be some more opportunities and things of interest that he's looking forward to. I don't know. Exactly. RC rules. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 years at Villanova. Yeah, he sat out his first year, and I guess he played 2 years after that. What a wonderful basketball player. Yeah. Oh man, Andrew also says, I really want to see Kerr play Jackson. Well, hang in there. They got 82 games. They just added a game versus Portland. I guess on Saturday, maybe. Look for Jackson Davis to play in that game. If the Clippers are up a lot on the Warriors on Saturday, Jackson Davis will probably play in that game. He's going to play. I don't have a problem with Kerr not playing him because he got to catch the ball also. I've seen too many drops from him. He is not allowed to drop the ball and miss layups. Am I being a little facetious? Yes, I am. But you know what I mean. Make the layups. Vicky says, I give JK a 7. But when he came into the league, it was a 4. Yeah, I mean, again, I think that we're all, kind of swimming in the same pool, in the same jacuzzi, if you will. Yeah, I would have him at a 5. You had him at 4. And he's about a 7 now. He is a contributor to success on one of the best teams in the NBA. How about that? I can dig that. His name is Grayson McCall. Thank you. Luckily, you got a computer, SG. Where would I be without your computer and your voice? Thank you. Grayson McCall, good player. Probably a 4th round pick. Maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th. Tremendous value for where he's going to be drafted. Samuel, thoughts on the in-season tourney? Every game I watch had a playoff-type atmosphere. I love it with one exception. The point differential component is absurd and ridiculous and beneath the NBA's brand and standard, in my opinion. One of the things that I think that we all love about the NBA is there is a gentlemanly um, unwritten rule stance that the league has, and I respect it. I like it. To see games decided late and see bozos running to score layups or make threes, it's stupid. Adam Silver knows it. He's a smart guy. They just didn't have another alternative this year. But the blowback is going to be so bad that they're just going to find a way. Listen, if you win X amount of games, if there's a tiebreaker between a couple of teams in a region, then play an extra game. Big deal. 82, 83, give me a break. I can't stand the point differential. That should be kicked to the curb. Beyond that, I like the in-season tournament. I think it's a hit. Aussie Rule says, Kerr, coaching Steph Curry is a dream come true. How could Kerr coach any other? Exactly. I totally agree with you. He's pretty much said that. Hey, man. I'm happy for Kerr. He had a phenomenal playing career. Guys dealt with real tragedies in his life. He's very aware of what's going on. He's not perfect, but none of us are. The level of transparency that he showed yesterday is unique among egomaniac coaches. Another reason to like the guy. And again, I think his players responded tonight because of what he did yesterday by coming out and saying, I screwed up. So I'm a big Curry guy, man. But I recognize that, not perfect. But no, he's not coaching anybody else. No way. Broadcasting and giving your opinion about sports is easy money, and it's fun to do. And when you got a brand, people believe you. It's amazing. Stop it, man. Brian says, I don't care about him scoring or if the ball goes through the hoop. I know he can score. I look at it if he makes winning smart plays. He had 3 boards in his first 6 minutes tonight, showing activity. Yeah. I would say to you, trust your eyes more, less statistics. Statistics back up your eyes. And, I like the fact that you have a high standard. I dig it. But here's the deal. When you are speaking specifically about a player, it's fun when someone can take that background knowledge and utilize actual plays and sequences to make their points, as opposed to just pointing to a particular statistic to validate their comments. That's what a lot of people do on the radio, on television, and it doesn't resonate as much because people tune to be more visual learners than analytical learners. So the combination of using all of these variables together, I think, gets it done more clearly. What do you think? Portland next Wednesday and OKC on Saturday. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Yeah. The Warriors are better than OKC. As good as OKC is, they got some young studs. But in a series, I would be shocked if they beat the Warriors. I think the Warriors are better. I think defensively the Warriors are better. They're obviously not as young, but I think the Warriors are among the top 10 teams in the NBA. So they're in the top third, and you break it down even more when you start looking at matchups and series. This team has an opportunity to be really good. I had them winning 50 games. I still see a vision where they're going to win 45 plus and ready to really make some noise in the playoffs. Tuesday night's game in Sacramento. Now, granted, the Kings didn't have Keegan Murray. He's a hell of a player. But there were times when the Warriors just looked so much better than the Kings. Now, maybe Sasha Zavinkov ascends to the level that they think that he can. I don't think so. He appears to be kind of a gunner to me. But that'll be. I think the Warriors. I think the Warriors are one of the better teams, and I think the Kings can get there. But I think that they got to decide on a backup point guard. Davion Mitchell has not developed the way that they thought that he would, and they haven't given the young player out of Xavier a real opportunity yet. So it'll be interesting to see where the Kings go to get better. There you go. Anthony, his name is Anthony or Antony? His name is Anthony or Anthony? Blukin, his name is. He's done a hell of a job, man. I really like his poise. I like what comes out of his mouth. Appears to be a really good problem solver. Yeah, man. I can see Steve Kerr doing that job and doing very well. What is going on with Curry lately? Stop it, man. Don't you ever criticize Stephen Curry. You can't do that. Andrew, I thought you were SG. I was joking with him. Not you. I take you seriously. What is going on with Curry lately? He's missing a lot of threes. Well, he might be tired. I don't have a problem with a shot. He's taken a couple of threes under duress. Most of the threes that he takes that he's wide open, he makes. And he makes some tough ones. I have no problem with what I see from him shooting right now. I don't. I think he's fine. Grayson McCall is one of the top 10 QBs who have entered. Oh, he entered the transfer portal? Wow. I think he can play in the NFL. But if he's going to play in college, he's going to be in demand. Okay, I saw JK make some progress when Clay was having a scoring fest in the fourth quarter. He set up Clay with a nice screen assist to Clay for a corner three instead of taking. Right, you and I saw the same play. Yep. Great job, Brian. You and I saw the same play. That's progress. I mean, do you know that some players never get there? Never make that progress or ascend to that level. So you see what I see. Good. SG, James Harden has just surpassed Tim Hardaway with 7,000 assists. Yeah, I'm not a stat guy. I don't really care about that. But thank you. I appreciate it. Aussie Rule says, I love the hustle. Is that Guy Santos? Which Kuminga was that active? I actually want Guy Santos to slow down. He plays too fast. Everything is a horse race, and it's not. He needs to calm down and let the game come to him. I love his energy. I'm rooting for him. I hope he becomes a player, but he plays too fast. Sometimes you got to eat your meal slow. You got to take your time. You got to have a bite. You cut the steak, you put it on the fork, you rub it in some of the steak juices, and you get a dip of mashed potatoes, put it in your mouth and just let it sit there for 5 or 10 seconds. You go, wow, this is really good. I don't know how I'm going to pay for the meal, but I'm going to enjoy it right now. Yeah, I think God needs to slow down a little bit. SG, DJ Uungalele also entered the transfer portal. I'm rooting for this kid. I actually think that DJ, if he has some counsel, he might be convinced to go to the NFL now too. I think he's a development guy, but I like him. I think he would be drafted in the 3rd round if he comes out this year. I don't know if he's going to be a 1st-round draft pick because he's not very accurate. He might have to develop at the NFL level, but This is why I think he's probably going to go in the portal. There's $1 million to $2 million out there for him. Thinking about it, there's big money out there for him. I mean, Notre Dame, some of these, if Gabriel leaves Oklahoma, I get it now. It's not about these guys not wanting to go to the NFL. There's big money in college for these players. And DJ's going to make a ton next year. How did I miss that? Andrew says, what about Curry's turnovers lately? That's a factor of minutes, Andrew. Once Stephen Curry plays more than 32, 33 minutes, he's tired. And he's fatigued. And those lazy passes become more obvious. So that's Steve Kerr kind of burning the candle at both ends. Like, for example, tonight, when we all wanted him to put Steph in with about 8 or 9 minutes, he resisted and he didn't do it. He kept him on the bench because that's one of the things where analytics really, really works. It really does. The efficiency of these players related to how many minutes they play, those are real stats. Those are real numbers. And I mean, even missing free throws. Stephen Curry, the amount of free throws that he misses is a function of how many minutes he's playing. And they know that. We all know this. But, you know, they want to win games. I get it. Hopefully, it doesn't hurt them. Brian says, I hold JK to a high standard because I see how great he can be. There's a reason they drafted him 7th overall. He has all the physical tools. Now he just needs to work on the mental side of the game. I'm okay with that. And again, I applaud you for holding players to a high standard. I would say get off the draft position. Where he was drafted is a function of who was available, not necessarily what his value is. Go back to the '96 draft when when all those players came out. He wouldn't be drafted number 7. So it's less about. I mean, he was a top pick, but it's less about where he was drafted. Where was his skill set when he came in the league? That is the question, not where he was drafted. Now, once you have seen him play and you've evaluated him, I have no problem with where you are in your evaluation of Jonathan Kuminga. I think he could be a top 50 player. If Caleb Williams goes to the NFL, what teams would he potentially play for? Teams that have high draft picks that are not very good. I don't think it's absurd to think that Arizona might probably try to trade Kyler Murray and draft Caleb. If New Orleans slides by the wayside, they might look at him. Although I think he's going to be a number 1 pick. So Charlotte, I can't see Charlotte taking him. I mean, that would be a laughingstock if they got rid of Bryce. Although Charlotte doesn't have the number 1 pick. Chicago has it. I can see Chicago taking him and moving off of Justin Fields, which I think would be a mistake. It would almost be an indictment on their inability to develop players. So, I don't know. I mean, thinking of teams that are not very good, and he's going to go to one of those teams. I think Guy wants to impress. That's why he's playing fast. Yeah, I think that you're right. But, Vicky, I think you're right. But I think that, and I'm sure the coaches are telling him, slow down, dude. You're here because we believe in you. We gave you a 2-year guaranteed contract and a 3-year deal because we think that you are an NBA player. Chill. Learn the game. Relax. They don't want to tell him you're not going to play a whole lot, but he's not going to play a whole lot. Relax and learn the game. Andrew says, what is your thoughts on the Clippers? Do you think they are good? Yeah, I think the Clippers are dangerous. I do. I think um, well, good. They're talented. Um, yeah, I mean, they got some interesting personalities, man. Uh, I don't know if and Ty Lue's a great coach. Ty Lue is very Steve Kerr-esque, and he's actually known to get at people behind closed doors. But I don't know, man. I mean, there's a part of me that thinks that the Clippers should explore the possibility of trading one or two of those guys, man, and see if they can get in the lottery, because these are talented players that I don't know how self-motivated they are. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say that about Kawhi because he's won a couple of chips. I mean, Paul George, I mean, losing just does not seem to bother him as it does of some other players. And hopefully I'm totally wrong. And he would be insulted by me saying that. But nobody that good shouldn't dominate more. So I'm with you. They are good, but they're not winning enough. Brian says his skill set was very raw when he came into the NBA. He has shown tremendous growth in his 3 years, but he still makes the same mistakes sometimes. And there is so much more he can learn. I agree. Do you think Mac Jones can get better and just needs to go to another team? No, I don't. He's not athletic. I mean, he's not athletic, and he doesn't deal with adversity the way that professionals have to deal with adversity. Nick Saban talked about it. No professional player playing quarterback who has their financial life secured should be living with past mistakes. That makes you a pro. Did you see Bryce Young blink this year? No. He didn't blink. Didn't blink not one time. Sacked 40 times. He's on the sideline shaking his offensive lineman's hand, saying, thank you. Thank you for getting me killed. I guess that's what he was saying. So I'm disappointed that Mac Jones has not developed into the player that I thought that he would be. Not a superstar, but I thought that he would be a successful player. Now he looks kind of like a journeyman backup. You know, he'll be in the league. Vicky says, until the Clippers have chemistry, they won't win. Great point. SG says, Frank, you've been going live for 1 minute and for 1 hour and 11 minutes. Yeah. I show you how to do this, son. Andrew says, I think Bill Belichick. No, man, come on. Bill Belichick. Andrew, you think so? Mac is doing the same thing he did at Alabama. Nick Saban talked about it. He needs to learn how to deal with adversity. Oh yeah, Christian Gonzalez is an outstanding player. University of Oregon corner. Now he's an all-pro caliber player, no doubt. San Jose Sharks lost to the Boston Bruins 3-0, and now 5-16, and they're absolutely no chance. Yeah, but I think everybody knew that this year. So, let me get in a little bit on the Cowboys, just a minute or so. Tonight's win by the Dallas Cowboys, what is it, 41-35. I think the Cowboys are a real contender this year. This is the type of game that historically the Cowboys have lost, and they showed a level of maturity tonight that we haven't seen from them. I think they're formidable. I really do. I'm a big Dak guy, and It wouldn't bother me if he won a Super Bowl to get all of his critics off his back. Yeah, I like what I saw from the Cowboys tonight. I think they're pretty good. Vicky says, SG, nobody cares about the Sharks. Andrew says, Bill Belichick is not a good a good GM, but he's a really good head coach. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, he's not. And the reason why he's not a very good general manager, I don't believe, is because he allows his personal feelings that have nothing to do with football get in the way of him evaluating players. And, he's had a lot of success because he had a great quarterback in Tom Brady. And he's made enough choices. But I think not having that anchor at the quarterback position has really hurt him. So, yeah. Listen, y'all. This has been incredible. I'm humbled. I'm truly humbled by the support that I receive. I can't be any genuine than I am, man. It is amazing to me that people would take the time out of their lives to listen to what I have to say. I don't care if it's 7, 8, 4, 5, anybody who takes their time to listen to me, to have a dialogue with me. I salute you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's not about the numbers. We want the numbers. We love the numbers and all that stuff, but it's really about the connection. And it's about the value that hopefully I'm bringing to the show, and the people who are contributing with their thoughts are bringing to the show. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. You all be safe and have a great tomorrow. I'll definitely do a show on Sunday night, maybe one in between, but definitely on Sunday. All right, let me do my thing and get out of here. Oh, you like the show? Like it. All right, hit the like button. Because it does. I mean, I'm not a tech person. I don't really, but it does help. It does. So like the show if you like it. If you have not subscribed, then subscribe to the show. All right. And hit me up on X if you want to dialogue about whatever is happening in the world of sports and life. I'm all for it. All right. Success and getting paid is a manifestation of the whole process. If you as an individual don't do things to help other people make their lives better, as far as I'm concerned, you haven't done nothing. Until the next time, I am Frank Red, and thank you once again for stepping in the dungeon and dialoguing and having fun with me. All right? Take care, everybody. Good night.